So this is all kind of IHI stuff, you know, chlorhexidine, elevate the head of the bed. The nurses developed this cute way of doing the elevate the head of the bed, so they put all the beds at the same height. They then drew a red line on the wall, 30 degrees above where that was, and they put a little sign there that said, if you see red, elevate the head. And that meant that anybody that walked in the room, if they saw red, had the right to elevate the head of the bed. Our radiation technologists in the morning come in, what do? They put the patient flat because they got to take the x-ray. They didn't remember to do that. That wasn't part of their work until they saw the sign. Then they said, oh, that's my job. I'm supposed to put the head of the bed back up. How much does putting a little sign on the wall that says, if you see red, elevate the bed? How about the contest of what are we going to name it? You know, it's great stuff. Great stuff, not high tech. No $2.5 trillion to fix that. Human knowledge and intelligence embedded in the workforce is what that requires that you liberate. So one day, we're doing a root cause analysis at the bed of this 35-year-old woman who had a pneumonia and developed a ventilator-associated pneumonia. So within 24 hours of declaring the ventilator-associated pneumonia, we're at the bedside. Me, the chief resident, the residents in the unit, the nurse manager, the nurse's aides, the respiratory therapist, the dietitian, and yes, Cheverus, who was the environmental services worker taking care of that particular side of the unit. We walk in this room, we're going through this case, and we're talking, you know, what could have happened? Are we sure we have been doing the the endotracheal cuff checks? Are we sure we've been doing this? And Cheverus says, Dr. Shannon, I got to tell you, I made an observation. So he steps to the front, and he said, okay, let me tell you what I've observed. I come in here every morning to wash the floor. And there's this blue bag, I think you guys call it an ambu bag. And we said, that's right. He goes, you know, Dr. Shannon, I find that bag when I come in here in the morning everywhere. Sometimes it's on top of the ventilator. Sometimes I find it in the bed with the patient. I even found it next to the urinal one morning. I'm not so sure it belongs there, Dr. Shannon. And he said, and if I were you, which in a horizontal organization, he is me, I'd go to Home Depot, Dr. Shannon, and I'd buy 26 15-cent hooks, and I'd put a little sign like the nurses did and say, here's where the ambu bag goes. And we call that Cheverus's hook. We went out, we got the hooks, we didn't call the management team, we didn't ask the medical staff to vote on it, we went out to the damn Home Depot and got 26 hooks, put them up, put the sign up, and now we had standard work. Now I don't know whether the ambu bag being next to the urinal caused the infection, somehow it didn't quite seem like where it belonged. But that's the engagement of a worker.